Hey everybody, welcome to The Dose. Did you ever just have one of those days? or one of those weeks? Or one of those months? For some of us, it's been one of those years. Right? I know that in 2011, this guy had a pretty rough year. I wrecked my car. I broke my right arm. I found out that I wasn't going to be flying anymore. There was a bunch, and by the way, all those weren't connected. Those were all separate events. My dog that I'd had forever and ever. I mean, it was a crazy year. And I think all of us go through that, don't we? We go through that yearly, we go through it monthly, we go through it daily. Sometimes we have good days, sometimes we have bad days. But have you ever noticed that sometimes when you look back on some of those weeks or some of those months or some of those years, you go, man, that was the best thing that ever happened to me. If I hadn't wrecked that car, then I wouldn't have met that individual that introduced me to the guy that gave me the job that I'm now making twice as much money. Or if I hadn't broken my arm that summer, then I wouldn't have gotten the orders that I got to go where I went to meet the people that introduced me to the person that got me involved in this next company that is making me, a great living today. Or whatever, right? I would have met my significant other if that girlfriend that I thought I was in love with hadn't broke up with me and broke my heart. I wouldn't have met the woman that I married, who's now my soulmate and who I should have been with from the very beginning. We can look back on a lot of these types of circumstances in our lives and go, that was the best thing that ever happened to me. When you begin to have a philosophical perspective on your life is when you'll be able to look at those circumstances while you're in them and say, hey, in 5 or 6 years, I'm going to look back on this and go, I'm really glad that happened. And here's why. See, when you begin to have, if you can look back on some of those old circumstances and have that perspective now that, hey, that was actually a really good thing for me, couldn't you have that perspective today if you chose to? Couldn't you? You could, as you're going through something, you could say, what am I supposed to learn from this? How could this be exactly what needs to happen to me right now so that I can go to wherever it is I'm destined to go to next with better experience or more knowledge or better know-how or whatever it is that I'm supposed to take away from this? See, you develop that philosopher's perspective of, hey, what I'm going through right now is exactly what I needed to go through to prepare me for whatever's next. Because I need you to hear something loud and clear. If you think you can go someplace else being the same person you are today, you have lost your mind. You can't go someplace new being the same person you are today. So everything we're going to go through, all the ups and downs, all the sadness, the joy, the elation, the disappointment, all of it, it's required so that we can grow and change and develop and become new kinds of people so we can go new places, do new things. That's the philosopher's perspective. When you begin to have that perspective, guys, you'll begin to adjust the way that you respond to the world around you and to what happens to you. And when that begins, your whole life's going to change. Go make it a great day.